What's happening, everybody? JayShockblast here, and check it out. We finally have my Doctor Strange review. I can't tell you how many of you guys have been asking me, when are you going to do your review? When are you going to do your review? Well, here I am. I'm doing it. I'm right now. And as always, spoiler alert. There will be spoilers, lots of them. I like to talk about the movie, and that's what we're going to do here. And I have to say, before you go, if you haven't seen it yet and you're waiting on them spoilers, it's fantastic. It's worth watching. Go see it. Come back, watch my review, hit the like button. Maybe leave a comment saying how much you enjoyed it. And I'll be here waiting when you're ready. Benedict Cumberbatch is the perfect Doctor Strange. They nailed it. They nailed it, folks. I really just loved Cumberbatch as Strange. He did it. I mean, he's got the look. I think there are a lot of people that had a lot of ideas for who could be Doctor Strange, and I thought that Cumberbatch was at the top of the list, and I'm sold. I thought he was fantastic, and he's got that. He brought that smug and confident and arrogant, and just completely cocky, feel to it. Everything that he did was perfect. Early in the movie, he brashly and showboats his way through saving a guy who was basically pronounced dead. He had a bullet lodged in his brain. Embarrasses a fellow doctor in the process, and you basically see him celebrate having saved the guy's life, but it's not because the guy gets to live, it's because, hey, look at me, I did that. And then he goes into the waiting room and meets the family, and they go to hug him, and he kind of turns himself the other way and looks the other way, but accepts the hug half-heartedly. That was a really great portrayal. Those little itty-bitty details like that I really appreciated about, Cumberbatch and how they portrayed Strange in general. Strange is full of himself. He's arrogant. He's learned a lot because of, the things that have happened, but he is not the nicest dude, he is, kind of a dick. But I mean, they did a really, really good job of showing everything about him that, we really need to see as he's being established as a brand new character. Now, keep in mind, there have been mentions of Strange in other movies, in at least one other movie anyway. But they really, this is not, I mean, I guess Ant-Man wasn't really, brought in, so like Ant-Man, a lot of people are learning about Doctor Strange, this world, these characters for the first time. I went to see this movie twice now, and I waited to do the review until I saw it twice, because after I saw it the first time, I just didn't like the theater I saw it in. I went with my buddy Madman, and we went to the one that was closer to his house so that we could both go. I just didn't like the theater, so I wanted to see it again, and it's tough these days because I have two 4K TVs. I play these video games like Marvel's Avengers, which I'm playing now, that are bright and vibrant, and I felt like the theater I saw it at the first time was kind of dark, and maybe it's just that, I don't know, I just had to see it again, and I'm glad I did, because I feel like if you can see a movie in the theaters the second time and it still holds true and it still keeps you interested, then you're seeing a really good movie. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that I'm giving this movie a really solid 8 out of 10. And that's a really great score. I think a lot of people feel like 8 is the new 6 or something. But, it is a really great movie. There are, some lulls because it is an origin story. So there's some parts that, you kind of just have to sit through so you can understand how Dr. Stephen Strange became who he is. We see his accident where, his hands are ruined and he no longer has use of his hands. Pay attention. If you didn't pay attention during the movie, you didn't pick up on it, there's a really great Easter egg that ties this in to the events of Captain America Civil War, where he's going over possible patients, and whoever he's talking to mentions a 35-year-old member of the military that had an accident in some kind of mechanical suit. He's talking about War Machine from when Vision shot down War Machine. So, War Machine was basically given to Doctor Strange as a possible patient, and he passed on it. So it's just little details like that are so great. And there's 2 after the credit scenes that are great as well. So make sure you stay for both of them. I'll get into that in a little bit. I want to talk about some of the other characters of the movie. Mordo. Couple changes made to some of these characters. Typically, these are the things that I get upset about. I'm not in this movie. Maybe the Ancient One a little bit, but I'm overall not really that upset. Mordo is one of them. Now, Mordo, I feel like has always been portrayed as being, and I don't know, I might be off base, but I've always felt like he was more Middle Eastern or Slavic or something like that, the Russian region. But in this movie, he is played by Chiwetel. I cannot pronounce his name. I'm really sorry. You guys are going to correct me. Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm embarrassed that I don't know how to pronounce his name, but actually, hold on. I'm on IMDb right now. Maybe they will have the pronunciation. Sometimes they do. I don't think they do, actually. Weird. They usually have pronunciations, I thought. See full bio. 2 Nigerian parents. Okafor. Yeah, it doesn't have his pronunciation. Weird. Oh, here we go. Chiwetel Ejiofor. Chiwetel Ejiofor. There we go. All right. So I got it right, I think. So there is a pronunciation. IMDb saving everybody. I thought he was great as Mordo. I think it really, especially when you see the second after the credit scene, it really establishes how Mordo went from where he is in this movie to where he ends up. If you follow Doctor Strange at all, you know that Mordo is one of Doctor Strange's arch nemesis. He's a bad guy. And in this movie, I love the fact that I saw the movie with my buddy Madman and the second time with Becky, because when they see what happens to Mordo after the credits, they were both floored. They didn't understand. And I think they did a good job in the movie really building it that way, because I feel like everybody really liked Mordo as you watch the movie. He's very likable. He's very sensible. He's somewhat of a mentor to Doctor Strange. And I don't know if this follows the exact pattern of the comics, but I'm okay with the way they portrayed it here. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. Obviously, in the comics, the Ancient One is an Asian man. In the movie, it's an English female. Actually, no, Irish female. I don't know if she's actually from Ireland, but they do refer to her as being Celtic. No, she is from London, so they do refer to her as being Celtic in the movie. So, I like Tilda Swinton. I think that she did a good job. I just don't know if I liked the Ancient One being female, and I don't have a good reason for that. This is one of the few things that I'm just indifferent on. But I thought she did a good job, and I really felt like there was some real emotion there. You could tell that she was hiding something, and you could tell that there was a lot more to her that people didn't understand, and Strange certainly picked up on it. It's got to be an interesting feeling, because she does, the Ancient One does die in the movie, and it's got to be an interesting, you kind of appreciate it when she has her moment before she passes, in the astral plane with Doctor Strange. she knew the moment that Doctor Strange showed up at her door that was it. She was training him to die. So that at some point that was going to happen to her. So that was really an interesting dynamic. I really felt like, she did do a very good job. There's just something weird about it, like I don't know. And that's one of the things that you run into when you start making these character changes. Caecilius is played by Mads Mikkelsen. Now, he's the big bad guy in this movie. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had no idea, let alone knowing how to pronounce his name, I had no idea who Caecilius was. This is like D-list Doctor Strange bad guy as far as I'm concerned. But one of the things I love about the Marvel movies is that they do such a fantastic job of taking characters like that, characters like Malekith, and elevating them because of the movie. They did it with Batroc, like, I mean, not at the same level, but like Malekith, when Thor the Dark World came out, they did a really amazing job of bringing him back into the comics. And I mean, Malekith was not portrayed very well in the movie, I think, but in the comic, when they brought him back, he was savage. He was scarier than Loki. Well, I mean, Loki's not exactly scary, but like, he was, quite frankly, one of the most savage bad guys I've seen in comics. And I think they dropped the ball a little bit on him because he was doing so great. And then they brought in Jane Foster, the imposter, and I lost track of what was going on. I'll be honest. Part of that's probably on me, but like, Malekith was a monster, and they have that opportunity with Caecilius. I'd be interesting to see if they bring him back into the comics. I don't follow Doctor Strange in the comics that closely, but I'll be interested to see what happens there, because I think he's not like, I mean, this is also one of the struggles that Marvel has in their movies. He is not the most memorable villain, but he does the job, and I think the actual imagery that surrounds him, like all the magical stuff, the visual effects, and then the Inception level, mind-bending stuff. I mean, all of that really helps make him memorable. But as a character, he actually had really good chemistry with Benedict Cumberbatch. Doctor Strange and Caecilius, they really had good chemistry, because here you have like this, developing sorcerer in Doctor Strange, and then you have this like advanced level sorcerer in Caecilius, and they're battling, and Caecilius knows that he's dealing with somebody that has like, he's new, he's a rookie, he's green, and like their interactions are great. Strange. And then he goes, he looks at him and he's like, strange. And he goes, isn't it? And he goes, no, my name. And he goes, well, Mr. Strange, doctor. Like, just like that. I can't remember exactly how that whole scene goes down when they meet, but like the play on, it was like almost like who's on first, what's on second, and stuff like that. Like, that was a really great scene. I loved it and enjoyed it. So, I just, he did very well. He did his job very well. But that brought us to the moment that I kind of expected, but I think they did a great job of not teasing in the trailers, and that is Dormammu. Now, obviously, I would say Dormammu is probably Doctor Strange's biggest nemesis. Like, that's his, Magneto to the X-Men, his Doctor Doom to the Fantastic Four. That is Dormammu, and I really did not love the way he was portrayed. I think, especially, I've been playing LEGO Marvel's Avengers in this video, and I recorded the gameplay separate so that I could concentrate on what I wanted to say, because I do all this in one take. This is not edited together. It's one shot of me talking for 15 to 20 minutes straight. So, he doesn't look like he does. in what we see in most places, especially comics. Most recently, I remember seeing him in the Deadpool and Spider-Man team up, where they end up in Dormammu's, hell, whatever dimension. I don't like his purple face. Like, I think in this game, in the Doctor Strange level, Dormammu is portrayed as being massively huge, like Galactus level size, and that's exactly what they do here in Doctor Strange. And that part's fine. That part's great. We don't actually fully see him. And speaking of Galactus, it's not like what we saw out of quote-unquote Galactus in the Fantastic Four movies. So relax, we're good there. But I don't know. They did an okay job with it. I think the better part is you get an understanding of who Dormammu is, what he does, and what he's all about. And the way that Doctor Strange and him are going to have their little relationship moving forward. That scene is fantastic. He uses the Eye of Agamotto, which apparently has the time gem of the Infinity Gauntlet in it. And he does it to basically create a loop of time where he is there constantly in this one loop, because in the dark dimension there is no time. And I don't know, it was just great. Benedict Wong plays Wong in the movie, and I thought he was great too. And I think one of the best parts of the movie is, Strange made a few jokes with him about having one name, calling him like Beyonce and stuff like that, and him like looking at him and not like understanding, the reference. And there's a joke he makes at the end of the movie, and when Wong it actually isn't even a joke. He said something that was like more matter of fact than anything, and Wong loses it because he finds humor in it, and everybody in the theater started laughing both times when it happened. So that brings us really to the end, which is Mordo. Now, we see the turn of Mordo. When Ancient One is dying, it's referenced with, with the talk with Strange, and, Mordo believes in the natural state of things. He doesn't believe in altering the way things are. Like, he believes in natural order. He doesn't believe they should use their magic to change time or to change things. So, at the end of the movie, when he essentially brings Wong back to life and basically rewinds time to prevent the destruction of the Sanctum in Hong Kong, Mordo's like, yeah, I'm out. This is not what we should do. I can't back this up. And the second after the credit scene is a reference to that. Now, in the Benjamin Bratt plays a character named Jonathan Pangborn, which is a guy who is paralyzed that finds magic to heal himself. He's basically using magic to allow his body to operate properly. And, that's how Strange finds the place. I can't remember what they called it, but the place where the Ancient One and Mordo are all stationed up in Kathmandu. He basically finds him and takes his sorcery powers, and this is where his turn to a bad guy kicks in, because he believes there's too many sorcerers, and he wants to get rid of all the sorcerers, because what he was doing, what Pangborn was doing, was not natural. And that's really a great turn. So you really want to see that, because like I said, I went with my buddy Madman, I went with my girlfriend Becky, and neither of them had any idea that Mordo was supposed to be a bad guy until that moment. Like, Madman was like, yo, I just don't like what Mordo did. I'm like, well, he's a bad guy. Like, he's always been a bad guy. Like, that's what he was supposed to do. It was great. And it made sense, obviously. So, I mean, it sets up a Doctor Strange 2. We've got, Strange versus Mordo. We've got Strange versus Dormammu, because Dormammu's going to be pissed. So, all in all, just a fantastic movie. The first The first after credit scene happens, pretty much in the mid roll, and it's one of the best after credit scenes I think I've seen because it has Doctor Strange sitting down with freaking Thor, and their conversation was awesome, and it teases the possibility of Doctor Strange appearing in Thor: The Dark World to help him find Loki while he's in New York. Awesome. Loved it. It was a great scene. Thor passes on drinking tea. He has his beer refilled in his mug while he's sitting there, and he loves it. So yeah, man, this movie was fun. It was great visuals, a really solid 8 out of 10. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I really hope you enjoyed this review. I really hope you go see the movie if you haven't seen it yet. I really think you're going to enjoy it. So thanks for watching. Hit that like button. I love you guys, and we'll see you.